Alrighty then. See if we can't find the stream. Hopefully it ain't too far away. Race Spec. There it is there. Alright, party audio's working. Do you mind if you speak, KD, just to see if your audio's working?
Yep, sure. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yep, it's working. That's good.
Cool.
That's good. Oh, I love it when it all just... I was going to say something. It all just works. I'll stop myself just in time.
You like it when everything's all, like, going according to plan.
Functioning without failure. If only Codemasters knew how to do that.
You ain't wrong.
So if we have a lobby glitch, I'm not going to be happy. Not going to be happy. This race is long enough. I mean, it'll be a bit shorter, but it's long enough to the point where you really don't want a lobby glitch.
No. Especially if we get to a point in the race where we have to deal with wet weather conditions, because it can happen.
If it rains.
Yeah. Yeah, we will have to make this thing quite long, maybe, if that's the case.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, we hope we don't get to that.
I'm going to quickly check the checking. Let's see here. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 14, plus 2 reserves. Hello, ACW.
So 16.
Yes.
ACW.
So we're only missing one.
Right.
Yes, ACW was kicked off podium. Yes, he was.
Quite unfortunate.
Well, just how things work out sometimes, so.
Yeah.
Looking at this, it appears to be the Haas driver. His name's Danoku, and he's not here. Someone's just joined. Who's that? It was Jinbin. Okay.
He did say he was restarting his PC a while ago, so he probably got that working, as you can see.
Understandable.
I think that's supposed to be it. I'm not entirely sure though.
Find out, I guess.
Unless
Already a few minutes late. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong freaking one. Yeah. No, we're looking at tier 1. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we've actually got one extra. Not totally sure who that is. Alrighty. Ready up signal has been given. But a few minutes away, or a few seconds rather, away from the start of the session. Screen cuts to black. I'll start my intro as per normal. Hello everyone and welcome to round 5 of the Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your lead commentator for this event, and tonight we'll be competing at the Marina Bay Street Circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. Constructed in 2008 and designed by track-making Supremo Herman Tilke, Singapore is most famous for hosting the first ever night race in Formula One history. But if you take the unique atmospheric conditions aside, you have a technical street course that has been the home of drama and controversy for many, many years. The circuit has remained relatively unchanged from its original design. The Singapore Sling at turn 10 has been the only part of the circuit that has been massively changed, and that was done all the way back in 2013. 10 years later, though, in preparation for the 2023 season, the circuit would undergo its biggest change yet. Thankfully, the developers at Codemasters were able to create a rendition of the new circuit and add it through one of the most recent updates. The circuit has been shortened now to 4.94 kilometers and features 19 corners, as you can see on the track back there in the bottom right. 4 less than the previous design. This is because the bus stop section after turn 15 has been completely bypassed, creating a flat-out section from the exit of turn 14 to the chicane of turn 16 and 17. Potentially, this adds a new overtaking spot on the racetrack, as the circuit retains the 3 DRS zones it originally had that lead into the prime overtaking spots of turn 1, turn 7 and turn 14. Lap times are set to tumble here in Singapore, but don't be fooled. Less corners doesn't mean less danger. Marina Bay is a concrete jungle where a single mistake, big or small, can have massive consequences. Now, before we focus on qualifying, there is a little bit of news to go through first from the previous race at Spa. 2 incident reports were submitted in, one of which involving Ryan Bell and a 10-second time penalty he got for cutting the bus stop chicane at Spa. Now, he didn't serve the penalty, obviously. It's a 10-second penalty, you can't serve it. He submitted through to the stewards, and the stewards deemed that the 10 seconds wasn't necessary, so they removed the time penalty. The other incident report submitted is actually something we saw on stream. An incident between Apollo Pepsi and Jack Humphreys at turn 9. Now, the stewards have deemed that Humphreys didn't leave enough room for Apollo on the inside. He was deemed at fault for the incident, and he was given a 5-second time penalty. With the penalty removed, Bell would finish on the podium in P2. For Humphreys, even with the time penalty applied, he wouldn't move position in the final results. In the Drivers' Championship, Jack Humphreys is leading the way on 97 points. He has a 10-point margin over CZK in the Alfa Romeo. He's on 87. Potsy rounds out the top 3 on 72 points. Behind him is Ryan Bell on 69, followed by Big Al on 57 points. In the Teams' Championship, it is McLaren who is leading the way on a even 100 points. Behind them is Mercedes-AMG on 98, followed by Alfa Romeo on 96, then Williams on 93. Only 7 points separating the top 4 in the Teams' Championship. Then it's a 13-point margin back to AlphaTauri in 5th. Every team has scored points so far. The only team, bar one team, I was going to say, and that is Haas. They are yet to score in the Teams' Championship. That's pretty much it. In terms of news, we can now focus on this here qualifying session. I can introduce my co-commentator for tonight, who was once again KD1997. KD, it's a new track layout here at Singapore. What are your general thoughts about the new design?
Well, I have had the time to actually scope this track a little bit in another league in terms of racing-wise. It's interesting. I mean, not so much in terms of changes, but in terms of, like, obviously with the new straight at the exit of turn 14, it does provide a little bit of overtaking opportunities into that bus stop section. I actually quite like it in terms of, in fairness. I always hated those 90-degree turns at that area of track. But yeah, it's still the same Singapore as we know and somewhat either love or hate. But also, the drivers will have to keep in mind as well, if this does happen, and obviously we don't have a weather report, wet weather conditions, because Singapore is known for wet weather racing because of how close it is to the equator. So we'll have to keep in mind and see if that comes into effect.
Yeah, we'll wait and see if we can get a report in regards to the weather. But yes, the tunnel section at Singapore, it's all gone when you go underneath the massive grandstand that's right next to the marina itself. Ryan Bell is currently at the top of the board with a 1 minute 28.3. If this was last year's game, that would be a very questionable lap time done right there. But now with that section gone, yeah, we're doing sub 1 minute 30s. So the times have well and truly dropped here at Singapore, which honestly I think is a good thing. One of the biggest drawbacks that I find with Singapore, the race is a drag. It's a long race, and sometimes it is interesting to watch, but a lot of the time you're just waiting. You're waiting for just something, whether it be rain or a safety car or, you know, strategies to come together. It takes a while. Oh, as Riley almost goes into the wall at turn 5. And all dry is a report, Katie, from ACW. He's evidently found some information somewhere. So, no rain.
Maybe, probably, I'm probably going to guess he's engineering for Ferrari Pro for tonight. But, yeah, I get what you're saying there. It's the drag. It's like a small endurance in some way, isn't it? No, I know it's a total distance of 4.9 Ks, which, I mean, yes, it's a little bit shorter than what we have been used to, but it's still Singapore. Like, you got concrete walls everywhere. It's a very technical track. So yeah, there's corners that can go through that you have to be careful of. There's a lot of low speed corners and quite easy areas to lock up as well and catch you off guard.
Absolutely. Icon Trust is about to finish a flying lap. He jumps to P6 with a 29.3, just behind T-Mac. Riley McKay's been off the racing line. His tyres are covered in marbles. He'll make his way around the final two corners of 18 and 19 and back onto the main straightaway. He jumps to second. A decent lap time there, 1 minute 28.589. No one's touching Ryan Bell at the moment. We've got Jin Bin out on track, making his way out of the hairpin at turn 13. CZK out there, same with Sebastian Spicer. Jin Bin, where are you going through? You're going through turn 14, using the full width of the racetrack at the exit there. And back towards the final chicane of turn 16 and 17. Chuck it in third gear, clip both curbs. Oh, get very close to the barrier on the outside and head around the final two corners. Jin Bin will set a 29.04 fastest for the Alfa Romeo driver. Tell you what, Sebastian is about to begin a flying lap. We might ride on board with him. Give you a guided tour of this new 4.9 kilometre layout of Singapore. Take it nice and easy. You eventually switch on the battery. There we go. Head around the final two corners. Make our way onto the main straightaway. DRS open, he'll begin the flying lap. Down towards turn 1. Easily one of the better overtaking spots on the circuit. And he completely misses it. Round turn 2 into turn 3. Third gear, gets back on the power. Heads around the little kink of turn 4. Then up towards the right of turn 5. Drops it down from 6th gear down to 4th. Gets back on the power. It's right up against the wall as he opens DRS. Heads around turn 6 and up towards the best overtaking spot on the circuit, turn 7. Hard on the brakes. 4th gear. Bit too hot towards the apex there. You have to back off quite a lot at corner exit. Round turn 8. Up towards turn 9. Keeping it 4th gear. Right up against the Rolex barrier there. As we head up towards turn 10. The Singapore sling. Down to 4th. Back on the power. Into the chicane of 11 and 12. Over the Anderson Bridge. Into the hairpin of turn 13. Which is a little bit tighter now on this new rendition of Singapore compared to the previous rendition we had in the game. Up towards turn 14, hard on the brakes, down to third gear, it's back on the power. Up towards turn 15, it's absolutely flat out here. Up towards the chicane of 16 and 17. Get on the brakes just before the 50 ball, drop it down to third gear. Very tidy exit out of 17. Around the penultimate corner, turn 18, then the final turn of 19. Crossing the line, he will go 4th fastest with a 29.061. I don't know, there's a lot of time, I think, in that. I think he went a bit too hot in quite a few corners, particularly turn 1 and turn 7. I noticed he was very, very hot into those corners. Compromised his exit speed quite significantly.
I would agree on that from watching his on board. I probably would say he lost maybe about 4 tenths in that lap. I'd probably say is how much he lost. But it's still got time to make it up. 8 minutes to go, so we'll see if he can maybe improve more on that.
Position-wise, it ain't too bad. He's currently P5, but yeah, I reckon 28 is very much possible in a tier like this. See what Mr. Bell can do, shall we? Oh, gee whiz, that looked pretty sideways there. He's got marbles on his tyres as he exits turn 3. Still got marbles on his tyres heading through 5. Gets right up towards the barrier. Mere millimetres between himself and the wall. Heading up towards the first sector split. He's well down. I thought he looked sideways out of turn 3. Cost him time.
Yeah, just trying to get all committed through there. Humphreys, meanwhile, crosses the line. We'll set 27.5.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quick. That is quick.
That is properly fast. But yeah, from the looks of things, some drivers are really struggling with the conditions. Cars are slidey. Some drivers pushing too hard in the braking zone. So yeah, not surprised to see a 27, 27.5. That's a properly quick lap from Jack Humphreys. Absolutely. But it's what you expect from him.
Yeah, absolutely. CZK, I think, is going to pit lane.
Yep.
Oh, that's actually who I was looking at, who just improved there. He does a 28.5.
Yes. Mr. Warren here is well down, and I'm informed that's actually Zach JW. So that's a driver who I haven't seen in some time. It's nice to see him back as Plevy crosses the line. Do a 28.8. Big Al jumps up to P6, 28.6. So yeah, that's actually quite surprising with Al, 28.6. Interesting.
Yeah, we probably reckon that he's got a bit more on that lap, I think. Considering we know how quick he... Oh yeah, considering we know how quick he can be.
Oh, big wiggle for Riley McKay exiting turn 3 as he gets on the power. Oh, gets close to the wall too. Gee whiz. You want to be so careful around a circuit like this. There is very little margin for error, but Riley's pushing hard and the clock reflects that. He's up by 3 3/4 tenths of a second, so he's already found huge gains in the first sector. Gets close to the barrier on the outside of turn 9 as well, KD.
Yeah, if that were AWS reading that, I probably would say about a centimeter. Oh! I think he might have had a little bit of brown in his underpants there, going through there at the Anderson Bridge.
He's pushing hard. He's actually lost time. So he's lost, what, about a tenth and a half or so?
Yeah, about a tenth. Oh yeah, definitely a tenth and a half. By making that sort of mistake.
Show you the importance of stringing the lap together without any mistakes. Even small ones can cost you a tremendous amount of time.
He goes into pit lane. He's not happy with it.
Well, besides that, it's 4.5 minutes left in qualifying. Outlaps and inlaps here will take a while to do as Jinbin jumps to P3 with a 28.3.
Yeah, not too bad. To answer your question, Joshy, it is short qualifying. 18 minutes.
Yep. If we did full qualifying at Singapore, yeah.
we'd be here for an eternity.
Yeah, very long stream.
Oh yeah, about 2.5 hours worth, I'd say.
Roscoe on back into pit lane. He is the only driver who's yet to set a lap time. Starting from the back here is not a good thing, KD. He needs to put a time on the board.
Oh, yeah. With that time on the clock. Yeah, he has to go out quick because... Well, quick-ish because, yeah. It's a pretty... Even though, yes, of course, like we've said, it's a bit shortened. Not by much. It's still a bit of a long outlap in-lap around this place. So, yeah. You might need to get out soon.
Not a lot of action in pit lane at the moment. We've got eye contrast coming in. Got a Ferrari getting ready. That's Ferrari Pro. Looks like Warren's getting ready. I think Karma... Oh no, Karma still in his garage for the moment. Ryan Bell coming out to play.
Yep. I think... Well, let's see. 2:55 to go. Bags is going to have to get back into pit lane. It might be touch and go with him, I reckon, if he decides to get back out quickly.
We'll see what he tries to do. He might just straight up retire. He may feel like he's run out of time to try and do one more lap. We'll wait and see, though, for Bags. He's currently P8 with a 28.6. Very tight qualifying in the midfield at the moment. clear leader out in front is Jack Humphries with a 27.5.
Yeah, nearly a second clear of Ryan Bell. And if you want to put more into context, 8/10 clear, less than 8/10 clear.
This is going to be an interesting dynamic between Humphries and Bell. At the end of this qualifying session, I'll be keen to see what both drivers have in store in terms of lap time.
Yeah, I know Bell's got more. I think we can all agree that Bell's got more in him in terms of pure pace. But he just needs to string the lap together, which is not the easiest thing to do for a track, around a track like Singapore. Not at all.
CZK will be the first driver to attempt his final flying lap. He's making his way through the final sector as I speak. We'll turn on the battery soon. You can see him riding the brake, trying to maintain tyre temperature, maintain brake temperature as well. I've noticed as well, something I'll quickly check. Change rather. I have it in miles an hour instead of kilometres, so we'll change that. Alright, CZK, let's see what you can do. Round the final 2 corners and onto the main straightaway, he'll begin his final flying lap attempt. Currently P4 with a 28.4. If he improves by a little over a tenth, it's a front row start, potentially. We'll see what everyone else can do. So that's a nice enough goal to have in mind. Be interesting to see what he can do in the first sector as he makes his way out of turn 5. DRS open, heads up towards turn 6 and the first sector split. Clock says he is up by a tenth and a half. Ryan Bell, he's making his way down the same straightaway around turn 6 towards turn 7. He's up by 2.5 tenths in the first sector. Jack Humphries out of turn 5 leaves just enough of a gap between himself and the barrier on the outside of the right-hander. He heads up towards the first sector split. Clock says he's up by a tenth. So he's finding even more time. The track continues to evolve. CZK round the hairpin at turn 13. He'll open DRS, head up towards 14 and the middle sector split. Yellow's out. That is Jinbin going slowly. CZK's teammate, this Malaysian driver, is 2.5 tenths up in the middle sector. Bell, he's up by almost 6 tenths of a second. Oh, he almost overshoots 14 though. He was very close, putting it in the wall, pushing hard out there.
Yep, Humphries he's actually lost time in that middle set. He's lost 3 100ths.
CZK P2 with a 28.0. What can Bell do as he heads back onto the main straightaway? It's not enough for pole position. Bell is P2. Humphries, right up against the wall. McKay jumps to second with an 8.855. Humphries does a 27.445. Takes provisional pole. Can anybody challenge that? Maybe Big Al. He's up by over half a second as he heads towards the final 2 corners. Keeps it in 6th gear through 18. Flat out round the final turn. Crosses the line. It's P4 with a 27.9. It looks like Liddell's done. Plevy's invalidated. T-Mac's well down. Contrast on a lap. Oh, I think he just brushed the barrier there. At turn 17, up towards the line. He will improve, but yeah, it doesn't change position.
Yep. Raleigh, sorry, not Raleigh. McKay, McKay. I was going to say T-Mac, that's who I'm looking at. Does not improve on his lap at all. Stays 12th position, bags goes to pit lane.
That's qualifying over, and that's a hell of a statement to make. 4 tenths between the top 2. I was curious to see what the likes of Bell, CZK, Al could do. And they're all relatively close to one another, but they're nowhere near Humphries.
No. Nowhere near. Humphries is pretty much in a class of his own. And also it's a Mercedes one too. Like we've never said this before.
In the qualifying here at Singapore, it's a hell of a statement. Humphries, our championship leader, on pole position by just over 4 tenths of a second to Riley McKay in P2. Ryan Bell, P3, followed by Big Al, then CZK. Ferrari Pro P6, followed by Jinbin, Bags, Liddell, Sebastian Spicer. Matt Plevy rounds out the top 10. Zach Warren P11, followed by T-Mac in 12th. Contrast Karma make up P13 and 14, followed by Stevenson and Roscoe, who did set a lap time. It wasn't enough to push him up the order though. He'll start from 16th position. But yeah, that's an awfully big lap.
Yeah. The fact that Humphreys could have had a bit more time if he didn't lose it a little bit in those final 2 sectors, but still, yeah, no, class of his own.
Alrighty then, race time here at Singapore. Still 31 laps here at this racetrack. Curious to see how strategies pan out. I imagine it's probably going to be medium hard medium or something like that.
I probably say the majority will be on the hards, if I'm totally honest. Get that out of the way and go straight to the mediums. Yeah. Want to probably go to that once the fuel starts to burn off a bit more on the more quicker tire.
Remember, as soon as we cut to the grid, it'll be lights out and away we go. There's no formation lap for this. We'll be on our toes, ready for the race start. Be curious to see as well if anyone's game enough to go for a move into that final chicane now. It's a long run out of 14, heading up towards turn 16. I wouldn't be surprised if someone was game enough to try and dive bomb down the inside. You've got to get yourself in a position to do that first.
Yeah, you got to get a good run out of 14 and stay within the toe if you do try to go for a move. There is no DRS to use in that area either, so yeah.
It's all about traction, acceleration, then commitment under braking. Try and pull off a move there. Here we go then, folks. 16 cars on the grid, ready to race. 5 red lights. And we're underway here in Marina Bay. It's a nice start from the 2 Mercs out in front. Bell's got a pretty decent start too. He looks down the inside of the race leader but can't move through into the lead. He does indeed, though, move through into second. Al up to third, McKay down to fourth. Oh, Humphreys with a mistake. Bell moves in front. He moves into the race lead. Humphreys down to second, followed by Al, McKay, CZK. Got a bit of squabbling going on here in the mid-pack as we head towards turn 7. Plevy trying to get through on Jinbin. Jinbin ultimately concedes. Warren looking around the outside at turn 7. He runs a bit wide. But he should be able to hang on to P11 here. T-Mac won't be able to find a way through. But no, a fairly controlled start, but a bit surprising. Humphreys letting go of the lead at the exit of turn 3, KD.
Yeah, and also to see here, I'm looking at the tires. Everyone apart from Ryan Bell and Big Al are on the medium compound tires. Everyone else is on the hard tire line. Yeah,
so you accurately predicted the majority would start on the hard tire, but a couple of those towards the front. I'm going to start on the mediums and try and break away from the pack, and that's exactly what Bell's going to try and do. Build up a margin and try and defend it later on. Interesting to see how these strategies pan out. Also with Big Al, he's going to be quite quick on those mediums. I'll be curious to see if he can close in on Humphreys and find a way through. But at the moment, Bell leads. Humphreys second, Al third, followed by McKay and then CZK. Not much changing in position. Couple up, couple down. Biggest loser after the start is Jinbin, down 3 positions. He was being swamped down this long straightaway heading towards turn 7. So he's lost 3 places. The driver who's gained the most is Ryan Bell. He's moved up 2 from P3 to the race lead. There is the possible race strategies available. So pit window, lap 17 to 23 to get off those hard tyres and onto the mediums. I'd be curious to see as well, KD, is it going to be an undercut that proves to be successful, or the overcut?
Well, for a track like this, considering that this pit lane is also 60 foot kph, I probably would say the undercut's going to be a big factor as well. You got to stay close though. You don't want to lose the car you're trying to fight with, obviously. Speaking of that, Bell has pulled up nearly a second margin. Big Al, though, has lost touch to Jack Humphreys as well. 1.2 seconds behind the man in second at the moment.
Demonstrating the pace that he had in qualifying, I suppose. Even on the medium compound tyre, Al has got no response to the pace of Humphries, who I think brushed up against the DHL barrier there at the exit of turn 17. Had flashing red lights on the back of that car too, so I think he ran out of battery on that lap. Or no, he's out of battery full stop, is he?
Yeah, no, the top two have no battery. I'm just looking at the telemetry. They have no battery at all.
They have spent absolutely all of it.
Yep. Apart from Big Al, he's got 40%. Raleigh's got 25, and then CZK in 5th has got 35.
I'm guessing that's the game these two are playing right here at the beginning of the race. Al's obviously using the battery to break away, and Humphries is using his in response to stay within that 1 second range.
Yeah. I'm more amazed, just to see, just scrolling through this field, everyone has burned up quite a bit of the battery. Apart from Big Al, CZK, like I said, doing alright. Bags is doing okay, same with Spicer. And, well, Clem is probably the best. Oh, no. Jinbin is the best out of a lot of the top 10. He's got 86%.
There you go.
But yeah, quite a bit of a mix in terms of the battery usage.
No, I wasn't expecting people to be in single digits after only 3 laps. So, the guys are pushing hard. That would also explain why Humphries built up that gap, because you can see now with Al, he's actually closed back in to within a second. So it's not just the qualifying pace Humphries had, it's the fact that he dumped all his battery on the first 2 laps. Yeah, no, what a fascinating dynamic. I wasn't expecting that. And to be honest, this is what we're going to notice over the course of this race. The main talking points will be about strategy. Won't see a hell of a lot of action. We might have some drama. But yeah, it's going to be a big game of strategy over the course of this race. Trying to work out whether an undercut or an overcut is worth it. As I believe T-Mac and Warren are scrapping away here. T-Mac's lost, what's that, 2.8 seconds to the car in front. So these guys are a bit separated from the top 10. Still a long race ahead though. That gap can shrink quite considerably if the right circumstances happen. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of nose to tail stuff for the opening parts of this race.
That's what we're kind of seeing at the moment, pretty much. Got some groups starting to form pretty much as well. Top 3 in their own little group. Ron McKay has got CZK behind him. Ferrari Pro's got Bags in London with him, but quite a bit of ways back. Yeah, it's just a fair mix of groups.
Everyone really has a battle buddy.
Yeah, little pockets of battling.
Minus Ferrari Pro, actually. He's too far away from CZK to get DRS. He's too far in front of Bags to be vulnerable to him. So he's sort of by himself here.
Yeah. No, that's a fair statement.
But everyone else has a battle buddy. Spicer closing in on his teammate. There might be a pass here for 7th. No, there isn't. Spicer doesn't commit to the move. Bags Liddell maintains P7. And these two will be talking to each other as well. There's a voice chat on Discord that a lot of the PC drivers use. So, yeah, these two will be chatting, I'd imagine, to each other on Discord.
Yeah, of course. Team strategy, of course, and see if who's got the better pace and whatnot. So far, Bags is doing okay, at least holding his own, like probably would today. But if Les Spicer has more pace, then of course he'll be obliged to let him through. Or absolutely. Bags will be obliged to let him through.
And Bags is the type of guy that he wouldn't hold him up if there's gains to be made. So Spicer's got pace, let him through. At the moment, top 3 still as they are. The gap's fluctuating, I guess, is the best way of describing it. They increase and they shrink, and then they increase again, then they shrink again. So it's pretty even between the top three. But, quite impressed with how well those hard tyres are on Humphrey's car. So.
Yeah, still keeping up with Ryan Bell as well. Keeping Big Al at bay is another one as well. So, of course, looking like that Humphrey's in a very prime position,
yes.
so to speak.
Spicer moves through on Liddell. Who would have seen that coming? Liddell having to back off a little bit. It was an awkward pass. Spicer went a bit too hot. Into the corner, ran wide. Cost a pair of them time. Plevy is close, but just not close enough to do anything. And Jinbin's minding his own business, and he's got a lot of battery. 95% to be exact. And as ACW rightly points out in chat, battery is almost impossible to save here.
Oh yeah, I mean, even with now the new configuration, it's still the same story. Like, it's been that way even when there was the old layout. It was impossible to save the battery, just because you wouldn't have so many areas to where you had to like go into a heavy braking zone. It's just a lot of low-speed corners. And here comes Plevy, and goes for the move there at the bus stop. Chicane is part of the track.
Not a bad move, that is, down the inside. And our first overtake through that section of the racetrack. So, demonstrates if you can get yourself in a good enough position, you can pass. Speaking of good position, Humphreys is close here. Gaining momentum. Backs off. He actually backed off a bit there. You could see it on the telemetry. So he doesn't want to attack Bell. And really, does he need to? I don't think so. I mean, he's on the hard tyre. Bell's on the mediums. He's already got a strategic advantage. He can just play a sensible game, save up battery, keep up with Bell, and then put himself in a really strong position in the second half of the race.
Absolutely.
Shows you what outright pace does.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just minding your own business and just doing what you need to do, pretty much.
That's it. That's what you got to do.
Even though these three had to burn a chunk of their battery. So yeah, pretty much what Humphreys is going to do is just stick behind Ryan, save up battery as best he can, and just keep up. That's pretty much the story.
CZK not letting go of Riley McKay as they go through 16 and 17. Well, McKay almost went straight on at 17. I think he overshot that just ever so slightly. But, yeah, no, neat little battle here for fourth. Behind, we have Bags Liddell under a little bit of pressure from Jinbin. Used a few % of his battery. It's Karma. Oh, that's rough. I saw that in the background. Oh, actually, no, that was Zach I saw using the full width of the circuit. Okay. See,
that
Karma
must have happened at the penultimate corner, I assume.
Must have, I guess. Bell still leads. Humphreys doesn't go for the lead. CZK won't make a move on Riley just yet either. But yeah, I thought that was Karma running wide at the final corner. It wasn't. It was Zach Warren. But he looked like he was within the white lines. That's why I said, oh, that's a bit rough. Because it genuinely looked like he stayed within the white lines.
Sorry to react there, but man, I think Ryan Bell could have had a little bit of a near accident there at the Anderson Bridge. He was nearly sideways.
What, Massa store?
What in the... Close to Massa. Just close to it. But yeah, no, it was a good catch. He like clobbered the curb at the exit of 12, and then yeah, it nearly had a bit of an oops.
Still running out there on those medium tyres. That the game said they can do about 23 laps, those hard tyres. So the pit window opens up now. Like, you can pit onto them and go to the end. Oh, wow, Humphreys is all over the place through two. Now, Big Al is right on his gearbox.
Yeah, made a mistake there. Al's also saved up a bit of battery too, in fairness. While Thicker behind.
With that straight line speed, Al has not enough, I'm afraid, to attack Humphries. It's close as CZK moves through on Riley McKay. That's a change for P4 on the racetrack. Neat little move there at on the straightaway before turn 7. Yeah, that's the first little whoopsie I've seen from Humphries through turn 2. I think he might have had a little one as well, or might have noticed through the final corner. It was small enough that it wasn't tremendously noticeable. But there at turn 2 it was definitely noticeable, and Al was right on his gearbox. Now, Bags Liddell under pressure. Jinbin looking round the outside. Oh, he's going to try and make this stick, you know. Granted, there was a lot of respect shown from Bags Liddell to make that happen, but that's a good move from Jinbin round the outside at turn 14. Don't see that all too often.
No, that was just a fairly clean move as well.
No contact. It was well respected from both parties. It was just very tidy. Very, very tidy. Humphries, second position, holding firm. He's had opportunities to try and take the lead. He hasn't taken them. Leaving Bell out in front. Al, though, has taken the opportunity to save a considerable amount of battery. Well, when you compare that to the top 2. So, Al in a decent little position here as Warren and T-Mac change places. We head up towards turn 8. Over under. Oh, his karma's off.
Yep, at the exit of 7.
A bit of a wiggle from eye contrast as he makes his way towards the Singapore Sling. Neat little train here being led by Warren. T-Mac just behind, followed by Contrast and Blake Stevenson. Over the Anderson Bridge and into the hairpin at turn 13. As I mentioned before, slightly different compared to the previous model in the F123 game. It feels tighter, KD.
Yeah, it does. Like we've said, it's just no margin for error. Of course, with the street circuit, you got concrete walls lying everywhere. It's just, yeah, you just can't put a foot wrong, can you? Just gotta be. Oh, someone's gone off of its camera again.
Broken front wing on that Red Bull now, and end plate missing.
Yeah, that happened at turn 7 when he went off.
Interesting.
I'm probably gonna guess he broke himself in somewhere. I'm gonna guess. I don't know.
Here we go. Change for the lead incoming. That's tight. That's real tight between Humphries and Bell. Through turn 7, Humphries takes the lead. But I can assure you, Bell did not make that easy. He was pushing him to the inside. He was not willing to let go of that race lead.
So what do you do here for Bell's situation? Do you pit now, go for a massive undercut, or do you just try to stick behind in his sort of shoes?
Don't know. That's a fair enough question. Because, wiggle
car
there.
Is loose. That car is loose.
We've said it all season with Bell.
I know.
Dude drives a shopping trolley. Just sideways around every corner. Like, it's fast. It is super fast. And it's great to watch. You know, sideways car, very cool. It's not particularly fast, though, when the car's kicking out sideways. Safety car!
Safety car!
What for?
Karma!
What?
He's destroyed the front wing at pit exit.
Here's a whoopsie.
Wow.
Humphries, Bell, Al gets a speeding penalty. They're all coming in. They have to, I suppose. Free pit stop. Got to take it.
McKay's going to get a bit screwed here because he's got a double stack coming his way.
Yes. Yes, he does. Oh, both McLarens 5-second penalties. Big oof. Well, this shakes things up, AD.
I suppose so. Well. There you go.
That's a lot of laps they're going to do on this medium tyre.
Yeah. In fairness, to Riley McKay, I thought it would have screwed him a little bit worse than where he is, but no, he's kept the position. Karma gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car.
He's done that out of the hairpin at turn 13. He's actually come to a dead stop to try and get back underneath the Delta. I don't know how you can be travelling that fast with a broken front wing. But evidently he is travelling fast enough to the point where the virtual stewards are like, nah, you're driving dangerously, mate. With a broken front wing. Oh, that's amazing. But yeah, this is quite interesting because depending on how long it takes for Karma to all done a Bottas. You can't. You got to be kidding me. You have actually got to be kidding me. Then he retires. To be honest, I think a lot of people would do the same.
Oh yeah, that's just frustration. Pure
Because
frustration.
that is absolute rubbish right there. It doesn't even give him the penalty when he actually jumps over, you know, the curb. It gives him the penalty when he rejoins back into pit lane.
Yeah.
That is rubbish. That is absolute rubbish.
Yeah, it would be nice if they were a little bit more lenient. If it was like, say, you had that damaged car. You know?
Nah,
I get that.
penalty.
I mean, I get that's against the rule what he was doing, but like, yeah, like you said, it is quite rubbish.
T-Mac's coming in, and this is to serve his 5 second.
Oh yeah, he'll get out to his medium as well in the process.
Yes. So in he comes. 5 seconds being served. This is something I recommend a lot of people try and do, especially if it's early in the race. If you have a 5 second, just serve it. Get it out of the way. Don't have to worry about it later on, especially if there's a safety car. If there's a safety car out, got 5 seconds, you might be in the midfield. Might as well serve it. Unless it's for like a collision or something, then you could probably try and argue and get it off. But if it's for speeding, then yeah, it's pretty slam dunk. You might as well try and serve it as soon as you can.
Hey Sylvie was recommending the mediums will make it to the end from here. I probably would say that's a bit of a fair statement, and if I'm totally honest, because they're going to have to do less than 20 laps on those tires.
It's a long stint.
It's a very long stint, yeah.
The game said, though, the pit window for the hards was lap 17
to 23.
So the game recommends that you can do, 14 laps on the medium tyre?
Yep.
17, 14, 31, yeah. So we're going to be doing more than 4D.
Oh, yep, and that's racing laps.
Safety car in this lap. Well, ideally it needed to be out for one more, I reckon, just to try and help the medium runners out. This is going to be very, very interesting. See how this all pans out. I mean, of course they had to pit. It's a free stop. You got to try and pit. Pit lane around here is incredibly long to transit through. You lose so much time. So you needed to take that opportunity. But those who start on the hard tyres, which is basically everyone, minus 2 drivers, they got an uphill battle right here. Take it nice and easy. Crawling our way through. Bell almost drawing alongside. Here we go. Humphries takes off. Round the final 2 corners. Onto the main straightaway. Bell's closing in. Look at him come. He's going to the outside, heading towards turn 1. Can't make his way through. Doesn't have the grip. Doesn't have the preferred racing line to try and find a way through. So Humphries maintains the lead. Bell's second. Al maintains third. Be interesting to see how the medium runners fare against those two hard runners. They're going to have a lot of pace early in this stint.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, CZK was looking very interested on Big Al.
Oh, he's going to have a look here down the inside into 8. Al leaves him room. He goes into the wall. He's left him too much room. Oh, no. Front wing damage as well. He'll have to come in and get that fixed.
I'm surprised the tire didn't pop off from where you hit that car.
Honestly, yeah, I can't believe that either.
That's a miracle.
Usually the game considers that as a slam dunk. You're losing your tire, but he only lost a bit of his front wing. So I suppose he can consider himself lucky. But he properly got spooked by CZK. Left the door way too far open, braked way too late. Hit the barrier.
They'll try to close up, not close enough. Starting to pull up a margin a little bit to CZK.
It's already about a 20% difference in terms of battery after the first green flag lap in the second stint of the race. Bell's giving it everything, and he is applying pressure right now. He is on Humphrey's gearbox. He does not want to let him go and run off into the distance. I Contrast and Zach Warren change places. That is for P11. Big Al coming in to serve his penalty and get that front wing fixed. What a shame. He needs a safety car realistically. Try and save his race.
But still a possibility. Still got a bit of ways to go. All they got to think about. Humphreys
maintaining the lead. Not pulling away by any huge margin, but he's not necessarily... I don't think he's pushing 110% right now. He's not using any battery. He's keeping that charge nice and high. Bell, he's got his at a pretty high level as well, over 50%. But he has got a significant chunk less compared to Humphreys. CZK just a little bit less on 51. So, dynamic between these three. They pushed hard on the opening green flag lap. Obviously, the field's bunched up. Might as well try and do something. But after that first lap, it seems that they're just going to use the natural pace of the fresh tyres and what they've got with the race car.
Yeah, Bell right now 4/10 is the margin. Humphrey says fastest lap with a 31.2. Yeah, as long as Bell can keep within DRS, he would be in an okay spot. Considering that well, obviously we would imagine that the hards are going to be the best tire at the end of the race.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whoa!
Yeah, that's against the walls.
Ain't it what? As with any street circuit, bravery is rewarded. Getting close to those barriers finds you those extra hundredths of a second. Go a bit too far though, well, can end up like this poor sod, down in 15th position. A bit lonely, but he's not out of the race yet. Still got a long way to go. Jinbin, 3-second time penalty. So the first 3 seconds of the night awarded to Jinbin. Our midfield pact is properly bunched up, looking at these intervals. Good to see, but yeah, the drivers won't be able to do much.
Ferrari Pro is not really close enough to get in with a DRS touch of Riley McKay. He's going to be in a bit of a no man's land with him, but he's going to have Spicer closing up. He's just about 5.5 tenths behind. Nearly brushed against the wall too from watching him on board. And gets a penalty for his troubles.
3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for Spicer. Second driver to get that kind of penalty. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few more. He uses a fair chunk of overtake through turn 4. Gee whiz. He's not letting go of Ferrari Pro. No sir. He wants to stay within that 1 second. He's not. I was going to say, turn on your DRS. How have you not got it on?
Probably completely forgot it, I suppose. Ferrari Pro's also out of battery too, so yeah, he's a bit of a sitting duck if Spicer can keep up.
And just keeping an eye on a couple of these battles. They're close, just, yeah, not quite close enough, and yeah, you're right, only 10% battery for Ferrari Pro. Oh, gee whiz, he got close to that wall over the Anderson Bridge. Pushing the limits. Push too far, though. Yeah, I think everyone knows what happens next. Half a second, the gap between Humphries and Bell. Humphries, a bit like with Bell in the previous stint, unable to pull away, but he's got a ton of battery to play with. Can't say the same for Bell. He's got 25%, which is more than enough, but yeah, it's a considerable difference between the top two. CZK, 38%, he's doing better than Bell. Then we have Riley, who's on 8%. He's using his battery to try and stay within 1 second of the top three. He's trying to get some DRS help. At the moment, he hasn't got it. It's just not quite close enough.
Yeah, and you need that, really, in this to be with this group. And yeah, no, it's tough luck there for McKay. At least he really will need some sort of miracle, I think, to close up. T-Mac overtakes Roscoe for 12th, as I've just seen there at turn 7. So, yeah.
A few position changes here and there, but as you'd expect, the race is just sort of entering its mellow period. It is bound to pick up later on, though. I am extremely curious how these strategies are going to work out, whether these mediums can make it to the end without puncturing. I think it's pretty certain that they're going to fall to bits. But can they survive without puncturing?
Yeah, that's a question for almost everybody.
I mean,
why literally almost everybody?
Yeah.
Imagine we get the entire finish be with everyone all on 3 wheels.
Oh goodness.
That honestly would be some kind of finish to see if that does happen.
Punctures everywhere. It's just puncture roulette. It's all random to see who gets a puncture and who doesn't get a puncture. And, Bell, a bit too far behind to do anything at this stage, but he doesn't really need to do anything right now. His tyres are obviously, well, they're not worse by a hell of a lot. He's keeping up with the race leader. So, those hards, they operate pretty well from the looks of things. Just needs to stay with them and, well, hope that Humphries' tyres fall off a cliff at some point, basically. Yeah. And once they do, Bell should get by pretty swiftly, I would think. Because in this game, when the tyres drop off, they drop off.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much when they hit 30, just over 30 or 40%, you definitely will feel it.
Unless something happens to the top two, you reckon CZK could somehow play himself into a battle for the lead?
He could. He just needs to keep up. That's all he's got to do. Just play the long game. You don't really need to do anything at this stage. Just play it smart.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're on for a podium already. So
yeah, I mean you got 12 laps to go. So yeah, no, just play smart, just keep up, and that's all you got to do. You got to think of the context of the championship as well. You said these two were, well, that being Humphries and CZK, they were separated by what, 10 points? Yeah, you got to think about the championship. Yeah, even if you're not in a position to win or get it. I was almost going to say get close, and that's exactly what happened. I saw there with Bell and Humphries. Spicer, meanwhile, overtakes Ferrari Pro.
It gets by Matt Plevy for P7 as well.
But yeah, if that makes any sort of sense, you just got to think of the long term. Oh, man, Bell, okay, that's a bit sideways there through the Anderson Bridge. Looking at you.
Yeah, it's Bell all season. Mr. Sideways.
Yeah. Honestly, compete in the Drift Car Championship, why don't you?
Formula Drift, absolutely. You do alright in that. Just give him this. Oh, as Matt gives himself a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, give him a car, he'll drift around everywhere from the looks of things.
Oh, yeah.
But he'll keep it straight. He won't lose it. It'll be pretty quick too. It's a pretty quick time around the calls. So
hey, he doesn't need a handbrake. He just give him a loose setup and he'll drift it for you.
that's it. DRS open again on Bell's car. Closing the gap. Don't think he'll go for a move though. Bit too far back. And we've still got 11 to go. 10.5 to go. It's still a long way until the checkered. But at this point, I'd imagine the medium tyres are starting to feel a bit iffy. After 9 laps or so. Like, they won't be terrible by any stretch, but the grip just won't be there. They won't have the edge like they did right at the beginning of the stint. CZK appears he is playing the long game, just sticking with the top two. Hasn't made any huge inroads to try and battle them. Just keeping touch, not letting go of them.
Yep. Smart thing to do, at least. Smart thing to do. But yeah, no. Bell doing... Oh, hello. Humphreys is coming in.
Alright, so... he's saying, screw it, I can't make it. Neither can CZK. McKay is in too.
They're gonna double stack again, Mercedes.
Yes.
Well, okay. Cost them a bit of time. Soft tires on CZK's car. And Humphreys on the mediums again.
Stevenson just then copping a 3-second time penalty. Well, that's essentially answered our questions, KD, in regards to this. They can't make it. So they're pitting in halfway through this final stint. Putting on some fresh tyres. Now it's hammer time. What's the gap between Humphreys and the race leader? Let's have a look. The gap is 25.4 seconds. So with the laps remaining, he has to close in by 2.5 seconds a lap.
Yeah, and whilst get through this field, if the field decides, well, we'll try to stick it out as best we can.
I wouldn't be surprised if a few of these guys decide to try and stretch it. I mean...
oh, yeah.
It could work out for them. If they can somehow make it to the end. But
yeah,
I don't know how their pace is going to look and how bad their tyres are going to be. You're playing a risky game, just staying out there on old rubber. So.
Yeah, CZK though gotta get. Well, since he's on the softs, he needs to get going quickly. Those softs, yeah, they're gonna be quite iffy, very, very quickly compared to the mediums.
I agree. I'd be curious to know as well if tyre temperatures are an issue with the soft tyre around here as well. Maybe ACW could probably answer that. Because in games past, it used to be an issue where the soft tyre would just burn up way too quickly. Yep. Basically be only good for like 3 laps, if that. So.
I mean, plus knowing with Singapore, it has had a history of being a track that's not been the greatest for the soft tyre, as we've seen in games past. So yeah, I probably wouldn't be surprised on this occasion if the soft tire would be good for only like 4, maybe close to 5 laps, and then it just goes away with all that grip.
Yeah, I can switch it to leader if you'd like to have it on leader. I just like to have it on interval, so then I can see accurately who's where and who's battling for what. I can work it out from this. Yeah, naturally he'd be gaining rapidly. It's down to 21.1 seconds. So he is pushing hard. But again, if drivers stay out, then there's going to be traffic. And around sections like the Singapore Sling, yeah, you're not passing through there. You're stuck behind a car for a decent amount of time.
Well, Humphries has got his first obstacle. That being the Red Bull Zach. As contrast overtakes Alex by what? Oh, wow. Blake nearly screwed himself in the pit lane. Now Humphries gets through into 8th position.
Now, next target will be T-Mac in the McLaren. 19.6 the margin. CZK ready to find a way through. He's done so at the exit of turn 5. Moves through into 9th. Stevenson exiting pit lane. He's now down in 13th place. The 3-second time penalty. On fresh tyres though, should be able to pull away from Roscoe Arm. Probably Big Al as well. He's on old tyres. Jin Bin applying pressure to Ferrari Pro. Thankfully though, the Ferrari driver has DRS. Keep the Alfa Romeo driver at bay.
And here comes Jack to get past T-Mac there. Outside move. CZK follows, but can't commit there. Turn 14. Has to stay behind.
Off the racetrack is Jinbin there at turn 17. Must have ran wide in his attempted pass of F1 Ferrari Pro. Humphries gets by eye contrast as well. Gaps down to 18.1 seconds. Here comes CZK on T-Mac. Gets that done. Closes in. And the Aston Martin of contrast. Thought I had a bump, but no I did not.
Nope. Alright, well here we go. CZK lines up a move here on contrast. Contrast is DRS too, but I don't think that's going to matter.
Nope. The extra straight line performance that Alpha has, plus the soft tyres. Yep, through it goes. Into 7th position. Simple overtake. 17 seconds is the gap now between Humphries and Bell. That doesn't help things. A 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Jack Humphries, his first penalty of the night. That'll be a bit of a relieving sight to Bell, because even if Humphries catches up, he needs to pass and build up a 3-second margin. And we're steadily running out of laps.
Yeah, a lot of the top 5 are still out there. Well, I'm sorry, apart from Bell, who's on the hards, he'll be fine. But from 2nd to 5th, I should say, yeah, 13 lap all mediums. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a stretch towards the end, and we still got 5 more laps to go.
Absolutely. Oh, Jim been running wide there. That's probably a warning. The game's usually quite punishing in regards to that kind of stuff. Just to note, who's got fastest lap? CZK, fair enough, he's on the soft tyre. What do you expect, I guess?
Yeah, by 2/10. Jack Humphries is the closest one to the fastest lap.
At this point, KD, you reckon these 4 drivers, on the mediums, they're just committing to this, saying screw it, I'm going to the end?
Well, they have to. What choice do you have in this stage of the race? You're not going for the 2-stop anymore. I mean, yeah, you got 5 laps to go, like I said, and well, yeah, they just gotta pray to the gods as best they can and say, please, just let my tires stay inflated.
That's it. I think that will be the biggest thing. Tyre deg is obviously something they can't avoid, but the punctures, they're randomly generated. So if you get within puncture range, there's a decent chance you will get a puncture, and there's no way you can avoid it. In saying that though, I've seen drivers get their tyres up to 100% and they don't puncture. So it really is by chance.
overtakes T-Mac there. That is for 9th position. He'll try to look for a contrast soon.
Oh, he had a little look down the inside of Matt there. Humphreys doesn't fully commit to the move, but with the poor tyre wear, Matt has got no traction, no grip whatsoever, so he loses a place. Equally does Eye Contrast on his medium tyres that he's spraying. Gets to the end of the race, he drops down to 9th.
Well, now Ferrari Pro will have a full wing full. Goodness me. A rear view mirror is what I was trying to say of Mercedes soon. Because, yeah, now he's all over him.
Can't find a way through here, though. Through the Singapore sling and the following S's. Closes in by quite a lot, but gotta stay behind. Can't find a way through yet. Riley, 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Whoa!
Whoa! What? He just teleported in front of him.
Woo. I thought Ferrari Pro teleported behind him. It looked like he went straight through.
Well, whatever the hell happened there, that's Humphreys.
Oh,
contact!
Gee whiz! He tried to fight!
Oh, Ferrari Pro nearly spins. Oh my goodness. That could have been a big Oh, that was nearly a big accident there as well with Jinbin and Plebs. Oh my goodness.
Right. That was one hell of a moment right there. Jinbin desperately trying to hang on.
Okay, that explains it from ACW. What ACW just said. Yeah, I forgot Ferrari Pro's on PS4, so he must have suffered screen freeze is what happened.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a hell of a screen freeze if I've ever seen one.
Went into a different dimension.
Yeah.
T-Mac down the inside of Contrast. That is for 9th place. Gets that done. Humphreys closing in. Should be a fairly straightforward move here for position. He'll line it up out of the hairpin. DRS wide open. And through he goes into P2. And that should be where he finishes. So long as Mr. Bell here, who was leading, doesn't make a mistake. And I think in this position, Bell probably won't make a mistake.
No, 8.6 seconds as well. And yeah, I don't think Humphreys will have enough laps to catch him. You got 3 more laps to go. And I think soon this stage, the Humphreys tires will be fairly even with the fairly even with the hards, I should say, of Ryan Bell's tires.
Up towards turn 1. Plevy close, but not close enough to go for a move. Stays in behind the Alfa Romeo. And what an interesting game of strategy this has been here at Singapore. Wide variety of strategies being played, especially after the safety car. Almost everyone pitted onto the medium tyre because, well, they kind of had to. Those who started on the mediums, being Ryan Bell and Big Al, they pitted onto the hard tyre. Al kind of screwed himself over, though. Threw it into the wall at turn 8. He had to go into the pits and get that car fixed. He's back in pit lane. He's going to try and go for fastest lap.
That's fair enough. I mean, what else do you have to lose?
That's it.
I suppose Ross Gorham will try to do the same thing. But yeah, no, I think we're pretty much all set in stone. Plus, there won't be a safety car coming up from this point, unless, even if there is a big accident. Yes, there'll be no safety cars from this point forward.
Race leader Ryan Bell making his way around the final 2 corners. Back onto the main straightaway. Lap 30 of 31. It's the penultimate lap of the Singapore Grand Prix. 6 seconds the margin. You needn't worry about it though. Time penalties are going to do the work for Ryan, even if Jack catches up. He has to pass and build up a 3-second lead, and yeah, that's going to be impossible unless Bell makes a mistake or he somehow gets a puncture. Who knows with this game, honestly. He might be up in that kind of range right now. If he's unlucky enough, he might be able to get a puncture. CZK going down the inside here. He's set for a podium finish. He's been on one hell of a streak, actually. Last week was his worst result of the season. A 6th place finish. His worst result. He's finished on the podium in every other race this year. Hasn't won. He's finished P2 and 3 on many, many occasions. So, dude's keeping up that consistency. He's going to put himself well and truly inside that championship fight if he maintains that. Neat little scrap here for P9 on track. Everyone with their tyres worn, no doubt. Yeah, they're fighting with what little grip they have left. I imagine that's not a particularly fun battle to be a part of.
No. Probably gonna be like feeling like ice skates at this point.
Yep.
With those tires, and yeah, just pray that you don't get a puncture.
McKay, Plevy battling away. Plevy hangs on to P6. They both have time penalties, so this is a more than genuine fight for track position here. DRS open on the Merc, pulls to the inside. Gets in front, nice movement. Oh, yeah, he got it done. He got it done at turn 1. I thought he was going to overshoot there, but nope, nope. Pulled it up nicely. Making his way through the middle sector. Bell on his final lap. He's got 4.4 seconds in hand. Just needs to guide the car home. Keep it within the white lines. Not make any mistakes. Plebeian. Oh, hello. You're kidding. He's going back at him.
Oh, that's a bit of contact.
Alright, I didn't think Matt would be in a position to go back for that, but he tried. But now with the better tyres than McKay has, he should be able to pull away through this sector.
Roscoe's got the fastest lap. At least for now.
Not
That's
anymore.
not me by Big Al. Yeah, no, that didn't last at all.
Ryan Bell, only 4 corners left. Through the final chicane and up towards the final 2 corners. He won the sprint at Spa, but he hasn't won a Grand Prix this season in the Elite Series. Well, that changes now. He's the winner of the Singapore Grand Prix. Humphreys home in 2nd. CZK will complete the podium places in 3rd. Spicer 4th. Let's see. He is by 66 thousandths of a second. McKay P6, followed by Plevy, then Jinbin. I contrast. Looks like he's going to hang on. T-Max all over him. It's too little too late. The Aston Martin driver finishes 9th. T-Mac rounds out the top 10. Behind him is Zach Warren, then Bags Liddell, Blake Stevenson. Then our final 2 will be Roscoe Arm and Big Al. If Roscoe Arm can't beat Al's lap time here, or as he gives himself a penalty, Big Al will get that fastest lap point. See what Roscoe can do though. Heading towards to the final 2 corners. He chucks it through. Yeah, it doesn't get fastest lap away from Big Al. There we are. The end of a interesting race. Strategy being the major talking point, as well as the safety car that was deployed for Karma's incident earlier in the race. Bit of luck played into this one. But Bell put together a fine performance. Mistake free. He's our winner of the Singapore Grand Prix. Humphreys home in 2nd. CZK completes the podium places in 3rd. The unofficial results then of the Singapore Grand Prix. Ryan Bell is your race winner, with Jack Humphreys finishing P2, 6.4 seconds behind the race winner. CZK completes the podium places in 3rd. Sebastian Spicer finishes P4, followed by Ferrari Pro in P5, Riley McKay 6th, Matt Plevy 7th, Jinbin 8th, Contrast 9th, T-Mac rounds out the top 10. Warren finishes P11, followed by Bags Liddell. Stevenson is 13th, followed by Roscoe Arm. Big Al, what a shame. A mistake at turn 8 ultimately cost him the chance to race for a win there. He scores fastest lap though in his efforts to try and regain as many points as possible. Karma only retirement. He had an incident at pit lane exit which caused the game-changing safety car.
Huh?
No, quite an interesting little race we just had there. Plenty of strategy games, I think the best way of putting it. Not a hell of a lot of on-track action, but a lot of strategy. Let's see. Oh, goodness. That one completely went blank on who won the race. But no, a mega effort from our top 3 tonight. KD. As I mentioned, a bit of luck played into it, but audio just went up. Did he just leave? No? He's still in the lobby. Just the audio picked up for some reason. But no, a mega effort from our top 3 tonight. I guess KD's might have dipped. That's alright. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to wrap up the stream. Quite an interesting little race we had there. Not what you typically like to see with on-track side-by-side battling. But the strategy provided some interesting storylines and provided a nice sort of comeback for those who decided to go for a 2-stop strategy. Humphreys and CZK made that work to perfection, but ultimately they were never going to catch Ryan Bell unless fate stepped in the way. Now, congratulations to Bell to winning his first Grand Prix of the Elite Series. But yeah, I think it's now time for us to wrap up the stream. I've been Lane Everingham, my co-commentator as always is KD1997. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 6 of the championship at Suzuka Circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.